Millie, Cozzi Gilardi. And I'm here waiting for the arrival of she and her sister and brothers so that we can reflect a little bit about past events of Joseph and Rosa Cozzi family. I was inspired to do this because there have been times that my mother has talked to my daughters and my husband and I about things that happened in her past, and we found that we enjoyed it very much. It was very interesting and exciting, and I thought the only way to preserve these memories would be to put it on film, and I thought that we would share these with the other members of the immediate Cozzi family, and so that we could learn more about the history of our grandparents, our ancestors, and we could share this with everyone in the Cozzi family. Because after all, the most valuable things that we can give our children are the memories of our past.
August 18th, 1988, and here with us today are a few members of the immediate Cozzi family. Amelia Cozzi Gilardi, Tony Cozzi, William Shorty Cozzi, Alvida Cozzi Pereira, and Jerry Cozzi are here to tell us a few things that they know about the history of the Joseph and Rosa Cozzi family. Those not with us today are Frank Cozzi, who passed away 24 years ago, and Dan and Violet Cozzi, who are not feeling well. But hopefully we will hear from them at a later date. It all began many years ago in a small village in the southern part of Italy. Joseph Giuseppe Cozzi was born April 3rd, 1879 in, you guys say it now.
Saponara.
Saponara.
Grumenti Novi?
No, that came later.
That comes later?
Okay, then.
Saponara di Grumet.
Yeah.
So the village was called Sopanari, and then they changed it to Grumenti Novi later. Okay, so that's the little village that they were born in. And then Rosa Alberti was born August 17th, 1886 in the same village.
Arlene, I think we should change that to July the 17th. Yes.
July 17th?
July 17th.
She was born July 17th.
I got mixed up with Danny. Danny's birthday is August 17th.
Right. Okay.
Yesterday.
What does Uncle Shorty say? Because he took it off of the, you took it off of the...
No, it doesn't say the year, just 1886.
It doesn't say the
It
month.
doesn't say the month, no.
Okay, so it's we'll say July 17th in 1886. That's in the, she was born in the same village, huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
Same village. Okay, then Joseph Cozzi had 2 sisters and 2 brothers. Is that right?
That we know of.
That you know of. Okay. And then Sam was the only other relative of Joseph Cozzi that came to the United States. Is that correct?
Sam.
Your Uncle Sam?
Uncle Sam.
Yeah, then the other brother now that you're talking about.
No, Danny.
No, he's full brother. Then the other brother, he went to Brazil,
Oh.
right?
Yeah, one of them.
One of them, no.
Dan. I think it was Dan.
So I don't know what his name was,
But one of
Frank's brothers.
one of Grandpa's,
Brothers.
Dad's brothers went to Italy, one came to the United States, Sam did.
okay, one went to Brazil.
I don't know what his name was.
Dan, I think Dan.
But he went to Brazil? Wonder what made him go to Brazil?
Didn't he, Tony?
Yeah, what's the name of
I
Brazil?
know, I know, I remember Mama saying we got cousins in Brazil, so somebody went there.
Oh, yeah?
Somebody went to Brazil, I don't know who.
So you think though that it was,
That was the one.
One of them, or
you
Dad.
think that it was a Grandpa's brother then that went to Brazil, and then the other,
There was a lot of Cozzi's in the phone book over there, that's all I know.
oh wait, did you look when we were there?
Oh, yeah.
You were probably
No
related to it.
kidding,
Yeah.
I'll be darned, there were a lot of
Page
cousins.
You should have
Yeah.
called one
I'll
and said,
be
hey, I'm
darned.
so-and-so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he didn't have no children.
No, he died here.
He didn't go back to Italy?
No.
No, he's talking about Brazil.
The one, the brother that went to Brazil, he said
He's
there were a lot of
talking
Cozzis
about,
in
he's talking about the
Brazil.
Cozzis in Brazil.
Oh, yeah. See, the first brother was here all the time.
Oh, yeah, Sam.
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 He never did go back home.
He never went
no,
back?
No, he died in
He
Scotland.
died.
He
died
did?
after
He died.
Pop.
And then Grandpa and Grandma never went back to Italy either.
No.
No.
They never went back. Just
No.
didn't see their family again. Then this Uncle Sam, then that came over. Did he come over with Grandpa?
No, I think he came later. Later.
He came later. Okay, and then he. I think you told me, Mama. He came around 1930. Uncle
Yeah,
Sam,
right,
huh?
just before, a little while after Bill and I got married.
Yeah. He
Okay.
lived,
He lived
well, I
in
mean,
a
he was
little-
around the Stockton area all the time.
And he always stayed around the Stockton area.
Because
He never
always
lived
pruning
here.
grapes and stuff like that.
He worked for
Oh.
us for a while, Shorty.
Huh?
He worked for Bill for a
Well,
while.
yeah.
He lived in that
Little
little
bit.
pet line in the back, you know?
Then he played the accordion. I can still got the accordion.
Oh yeah.
He used to play on the accordion, the ferry from Stockton, just go to San Francisco.
No
Or
kidding. You
Sacramento,
play on the
one of
ferry?
yeah.
He played,
You play on the ferry
Sacramento.
from San Francisco to Sacramento,
No,
or
no.
Stockton to Sacramento.
he entertained the people.
I'll be.
You still have the accordion?
Yeah, oh, yeah, I remember.
Well, I'll be darned. We
Well,
had
I mean,
music.
it's all-
I don't know-
he got
I don't know if
paid
he
for
still
that.
has.
We got paid to do that.
Yeah.
We had musical talent in the family.
And it all came natural to him.
Primarily,
Oh, really?
all he did
Oh, just
primarily prune grapes and pick cherries.
Oh yeah.
That's all he ever did.
That's all he did, and played the accordion.
And like
I'll
Shorty,
be darned.
Well,
like
in
Papa.
fact, we still got his
Parties and stuff.
Oh yeah.
cutters, the ones in the shop.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
were his.
Yeah, they're still in there, aren't they?
I'll be darned.
No, Trevor.
Uh-huh.
Those were his. Took out the shop there.
Yeah, they're in the barn. They're
In the
big
barn.
Yeah, Papa learned, Papa played the accordion.
Yeah, Papa was good on
Very
the.
good.
Papa played
Piano
the.
too, the piano.
You played the piano?
Organ.
Oh, and the organ.
Yes,
Oh.
he played the piano one day over at Elsie's house.
Okay, talk about musician now. Now, see, Daddy, when we went to high school, freshman year, he took up
yes.
clarinet.
Oh,
Well,
that.
he'd get home and tee. The worst of that was the
We all
piano,
tried,
actually.
we all tried to blow and couldn't make a noise.
Well, then Papa said, heck, I got to show how to play it. So he got the thing and man just played right off the bat.
No kidding.
He never
I'll be
touched them, and
darned.
he never.
So he
in fact,
had-
never played accordion.
He was real musically inclined
He
then.
was.
That's right.
I'll be darned. Well, didn't he play? Did he play the accordion too, Grandpa?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh,
yes.
he did?
Grandpa, he played the accordion. Oh, yes.
I never seen him on it.
Yeah, Danny, Shorty, yes, he played the
Well,
accordion.
maybe he did. I don't
Yeah, I
remember.
heard him, he played the accordion. Right.
Because I knew it was good on the organ.
Yeah, oh, and
At the
organ,
old house.
right, yeah. When we bought the organ at the auction sale once, came over with it and bought them out, what are you gonna do with that? And he put it right there in the living room, and there it stayed. And then he'd go like this, you know. He had to pedal it, you had to pedal it to
Yeah,
get the air,
to
you know,
get the-
so he could play
Get it to work.
so he could play a tune.
Grandma didn't appreciate him buying the organ, huh?
At first,
Took
but
up
then-
space.
Yeah.
Oh, he was great. And one time he went to an auction, he bought a photograph. Remember the ones, the little those little round discs?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Remember, he bought that one, and then another time he went, he bought a regular Victrola.
Oh, be
Well,
darned.
didn't,
Well, he
wasn't
liked music.
that, the one that had the round disc, was that upstairs when he moved there? At Long Honeysuckle?
Was that, I don't know,
Yeah.
was it there? when
Yeah.
he
That was
moved
at the ranch.
That was there
Oh,
upstairs in the
that's
house,
there.
although the upstairs never was finished, didn't have a floor.
there? No,
But I think we found it, I mean, we found it, we have a voice going up there.
Then they moved it out, it's there.
It was there, it had a few of those little old discs, but never did have the horn.
It never had the horn?
No. Did it? Tony, no.
Yeah, Tony, it had the horn.
Okay.
I remember
Got
that
a big
horn.
black horn.
Okay, it had the horn. Whatever happened to
But
it,
that was
I
in
guess
the place when you bought it, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, then, but nobody knows what happened to his two sisters. But they probably stayed in Italy, huh?
Yeah, they were in Italy.
Okay. So then, and Rosa Alberti then had one brother, Vito, and 3 stepbrothers, right? Okay, and then her brother Vito, he came over. Did he come over with her, or did he come over later?
No, it came later.
He came a little later. I don't know just when, but he came later.
He came later. Well, was he quite a bit younger than her? Was he younger than Grandma?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was younger.
Well, you could tell by that fence.
Well, wait a minute, then we'll tell right here.
Yeah, he's quite a bit younger.
Yeah. See, Mom was born 1986. And he was born in 1895.
Oh, so
So
there were
that's
9
about
years
what?
difference.
Uh,
9 years.
9 years difference there.
Quite a
Uh-huh.
bit difference.
So he came over later.
Yeah, he hung around San Francisco all the time.
He lived with us for a while, sure. He lived for us in Los
Oh,
Angeles.
yeah, out there in Los Angeles for a while. That's where I got my name.
Years ago.
That's Shorty.
Oh, we got to hear about that. I want to hear about it.
Well, I don't remember it.
You don't remember how you got your nickname?
There, he did. He named it
Professional.
Shorty.
He named it. Yeah, he
Oh,
named it.
Vito's profession was a bartender?
That's all
Yeah.
he did.
That's all he
Okay,
did.
okay.
And then,
No, he didn't gamble.
No.
No.
Who gave me
Just
my
a bartender.
nickname?
All he did was
Mama
bartend and
did.
chase
Mama
for the
named
women.
you after her brother.
What was your
No,
nickname?
my I'm talking about, I know that, I know my name was after his, I'm talking about my nickname.
Your nickname, what was your nickname?
Baby. Don't you remember, baby?
Baby. Oh yeah, I remember
So I don't know who
that.
gave me, I don't know who gave me that nickname.
Family, I guess.
Everybody called me that until I got married.
Oh. I remember that. Yeah.
Called Dolly Dolly.
Well, anyway, we're here today to reflect on our memories of our parents and our grandparents and our growing years. Now, what else do you remember about the time between the time your parents were born and their marriage in Italy? You don't remember anything? They never talked about it.
No, never talked about it. The only thing my mother used to say, my father used to say, that was one woman that was always chasing him, but.
But she didn't catch him, huh?
She didn't catch him.
Well, see, he was the.
Sounded like he was a
the
teen.
cavalry for a while there in Italy.
He was in the cavalry? Is that the service? That's
The
the Italian service?
county had a cover.
Yeah, we have a picture of that.
Rode a horse.
What
We
on
have
that picture?
Picture of the one in
In
the
his
service.
outfit, that's the outfit he has on. The picture.
Okay, so then Joseph and Rosa were married in Italy in the early 1900s.
Just guessing, just guessing.
Okay.
Must have been, oh yeah.
And then Joseph came to the United States around 1905. His father had passed away, but his mom was still alive. Evidently, Grandma must have told you guys that. And then Rosa was pregnant with her first baby before he left the United States. And she lost the baby later. It was a girl, Antoinette. And then she came to the United States around 1907, and she got pregnant again with a baby boy, Antone, and then he died also. And that's the one that died of the dysentery, right? And then they never saw any of their relatives again after they left Italy, huh? Except Sam, who came here,
Came later.
Grandpa's
and then
brother,
her
and
stepbrothers.
her brother Vito, and then her stepbrothers came later? Oh, where did they settle?
They worked for
They
Miller.
worked for Miller.
Oh, they worked for Miller and Lux.
For a while.
What was their last name? Was it Alberti also?
Buffona.
Bafuna.
Bafuna? Oh.
That was the first one.
One was Silvia, was Mike.
Mike,
Then was
Zipa P,
Joseph.
Joseph,
And
and
the other was Mike Angelo.
Now, are they related, are any of the Bafunas in Los Banos relatives of theirs then? No?
That's what I know of.
Did they married and had families, or?
no,
Back in the old countries.
no, they were all bachelors.
They were all bachelors?
Pretty sure.
No.
Zipa P, no, he had a family.
The Bean had a family.
Yeah, but, yeah, he's the only one.
He's the best one of the whole bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. He's one of
So the three
Mama's
stepbrothers,
favorite. He's Mama's favorite.
one of them had, they all came here and worked at Miller and Lux, and then one of them married and had a
They
family.
all worked for Lux Steady, that's all they did.
Right.
Oh,
And they
So
all,
from
I
the
did.
time they got here.
and they all went back.
They
Oh,
paid,
and that-
they get paid gold then, and my mother, she'd sew, get ready to leave on their coat, she'd sew all, in the lining, sew all their $20 gold pieces in there.
Oh,
And then take it, put it on, and never take it off till they get there. They slept with it,
oh, I'll be darned, until they got where?
Italy.
Oh, when they went back to Italy?
They carried this money back.
Oh, I'll be
That's how they did,
darned.
so the people wouldn't steal it.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
The whole lot, you don't remember that?
Yeah.
Sewed all the,
She'd
all
sew
this
in the
money.
lining of their
That thing
jackets.
must weigh 500 pounds. They put it on and never take it off. They
I'll
sleep
be
all day and
darned.
all night.
And so
It'd
then,
take 5 or 6 months to get across.
to get over there. Well, then, when they got over there, then they ever come back again?
No,
Then they stayed over there?
they made plenty of money.
Oh, they made good money here and
When
then
we
they
went back there,
back
they did quite a bit with it.
Right.
Oh, so
Going
they
ways
went back
money
there and
they made
retired
here,
there.
$1 a day or whatever it was, they
Dollar a
made
day.
here.
Dollar a day.
Why, back there it was a lot of money.
So then they probably went back there and were able to retire. Oh. Then anyway, after losing 2 children, Rosa had Frank Joseph on May 16th, 1910 in Los Banos. There's a controversy about where all these kids were born.
I didn't know.
Amelia was born December 23rd, 1911 in Los Banos. And then Tony John was married, born, I said married, buried, born, November 14th, 1914 in Los Banos. And Dan Edward was born August 17th, 1916 in Los Banos. William Shorty Frank
Robert. I didn't see
and Robert too, huh?
You know how he got that, Robert?
Okay, let's hear
Well,
how.
there was a little disagreement there, my father and my mother. My father wanted William, because of Bill. He always thought of that Billy Birch that he worked for.
Right.
And Robert was Mama's. She wanted to name him Robert. But, I don't know, I guess he
So
never
that-
did, huh?
They never did, but the old timers always call me Robert.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
they did?
Mama called him Robert all the time.
And then you got Frank as a middle name when you were confirmed.
Confirmed.
Then how did you get the nickname Shorty?
From Uncle Vito.
No, Uncle Vito.
Oh, he was a little
I
short.
He was short.
He was
Yeah.
a little
Uh-huh.
tiny guy, huh?
Little short guy.
Little Shorty?
Vito was living with us at the
Well,
time.
he wasn't too big himself.
Yeah.
He wasn't, no, he wasn't.
No, from
Yes.
the pictures I've seen, he
But
doesn't
I mean,
look
he
that
was
big.
good looking. He was good looking.
Yeah, nice looking man.
This just stuck with me.
That just stuck, yeah. Then Violet Dolly Rose was born January 9th, 1924, and she got her nickname Dolly. How did she get her
And
nickname?
she was always sickly all the time.
And she,
Yeah,
you said something about she looked like a little doll.
And then she's like a
Yeah.
little doll. She,
Yeah,
she,
she was
just
small.
never did grow. She was always tiny, always tiny.
So that's
Sickly.
they
That's
called
why
her
she
Dolly.
always got her way. She got her way because she was always sick.
One
Okay.
thing we had to do, we had to watch her. My mother had to watch her pretty close when Jerry was born. She used to go in the bedroom. She'd always try to get him out of the crib.
Oh, really?
And, and Mother used to have to keep an eye on him all the time. All the time, because that's where she'd go, right after
She'd
Jerry.
go right in there and try to get him out of the crib.
Little baby, yeah.
Little baby.
Well, Alvita, well, Jerry, you were 1930. You were 6 years younger than Dolly. That's why. Yeah, you were like a little toy for her, huh? Yeah. Then Bobby was born. We're not real sure about the year he was born. Probably around 1926 somewhere.
May the 27th, 1925.
1925.
Yeah.
May.
I'm still.
Yeah,
May what, Sharon?
27th.
Oh, that's right, yeah, May 27th.
May 27th. Well, there was about 18 months difference between Dolly and Bobby then. And then he died when he was about 6 or 7 years old.
Six.
Yeah, 6 or 7.
6 or 7, something like
And
that.
he what did he die of?
Kidneys.
Kidney.
Oh, he had kidney
They
problem.
called it, then they called it Bright's disease.
I
Right?
don't know.
Well, I don't know.
But all he said was kidneys,
Also,
because
the kidney had kind of infection,
Behind here.
poison actually.
his whole back was black and blue.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
when they moved him out.
Well, he went to the hospital.
Laid in that bed in the house for days on his back. Hitler said, let him lay on his back, and
No.
finally turned him over, his back was black and blue.
Oh my gosh.
So I took him to Los Banos, thought, here, looked at it, said, well, you better take him to Merced. He's up there, I said, right, heck, it's too late.
Oh, what a shame. So then, who was the doctor that told him to lay on his back at home, Hilliard? Oh,
Lay him on
dear.
his back. Little kid never complained, not one, never said a thing.
Isn't that something?
Till the day he died, that boy never said nothing. He was just
I'll
saying,
be darned.
See, I was married by then.
Yeah, you were
So you
married.
don't remember that as well as they do then?
yeah,
I was there
I remember
today.
because I slept in the same room.
Oh. Poor
I
little
remember
guy.
the day they came home from the doctor, Mom and Papa tried to take him to the doctor, see the doctor in Los Banos. Well, they brought him home with them, and when they got home, I happened to be there, and they said the doctor said, we have to take him to Merced. And that's the last I heard.
Yeah.
Then he died in
And the doctor
Merced.
up there, well, now this is what I remember. Mama or Papa saying, well, you took somebody over here. Or either Mama asked him or somebody like that says, well, it's too late. He says, well, you take, a dead person actually, because the poison set in, gangrene, there it was. So I guess he died, what, the day after, a couple days
Oh.
after that?
So he died shortly after he got to Merced.
He always had a smile on his face.
Just,
Oh, it's
oh,
too
he
late.
he was a cute little kid. He was.
Well, the
my brothers-
picture-
My brothers, are all handsome, but he was a.
He was cute looking.
Yeah,
He was blonde. He was blonde.
Blonde.
Darlene.
Oh, be
blonde
darned.
family.
He was
Oh, no
cute.
kidding.
Yeah, he was.
Well,
really
he's cute. This picture that I've seen that I'm sure you brought today, he's a
Yeah.
cute little guy.
Well, the sheriff's taken him about a year or so earlier.
Or
Not
before he
earlier than that,
got sick, huh?
Yeah, before he ever
The
got
one
sick.
that's on the.
The tombstone.
Yeah, on the tombstone, that's what's on the tombstone.
Let's see, then Alvita Christine was born August 30th, 1928 in Los Banos also, right?
No.
No.
No?
Dos
Oh,
Palace.
Dos
Now,
Palace.
was Bobby born?
Bobby in Dos Palace.
Oh, Bobby was in
Alvita
Dos
in
Palace
Dos
too.
Palace.
Everybody's born at
Albert,
home. Nobody's born in a hospital.
Violet,
Everybody was
Jerry,
born at home?
Nobody's born in a hospital.
all at home.
I think we were all-
Okay, but on the birth certificate it says Los Banos or Dos Palace, so
Papa
you
was-
and Bobby were in Dos
Doctor.
Palace.
And Jerry.
And Jerry.
Last
And
name.
Violet.
And Dolly.
Oh, Dolly was in
Oh,
Dos
yes.
Palace.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we
After
didn't get that, I didn't get that
after we
down.
moved to Dos Palace, they were all-
And then Jerry Joseph was born December 27, 1930 in Dos Palace. And everybody was born at home, huh? Nobody went to the hospital.
That's right.
I'll be darned. Boy, those were the old days.
Midwife.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
And I think they had Dr. Ray came on.
Well, when we lived in Las Vegas, yeah.
Hey, Jerry was born last.
Nobody
I
there.
come home, all his mother and Papa in the bedroom, and pretty soon there's a baby.
Oh, yeah. No doctor, huh?
And then
That's right.
the others, midwives came, Carlucci's and
Yeah,
was in
And
Los
my
Banas.
godmother, my grandmother.
Los Banas and the Buffoons and all the rest of them came.
Consellas, all that, they all.
They all
midwife
came
women
and helped?
themselves.
Yeah.
They're the
Oh.
ones that came
And
and
helped.
delivered the kids.
Yeah, right.
So the doctors
They
didn't do
kinda
much in
helped.
those days.
No, we didn't anyway, other people, I guess, did.
Well,
No, like Tony said, Jerry, I don't remember ever had
Oh,
a
yeah.
midwife or nothing. He was born.
I remember when he was born.
Yeah.
We remember when you were old enough.
Well, it happened just that quick.
Quick
She
deal.
she had it easy.
had him fast,
You
huh?
passed.
I tell you what, the next day she's out there in the garden.
Yeah.
No kidding.
That's right.
Right, they don't make them tough like that anymore. Okay, and then, now there was some controversy about where everybody was born.
Well, no, just what side.
What side of the
What
street,
side of the
huh?
street?
Oh, what side?
What side of the track?
We were just kidding, but we were
About a
all
block
born
over.
on this side of the tracks.
They
This
were
side.
all born on the good side of the track,
Right,
huh?
on the good side, we didn't like, because there was one fella, Mr., what's his name, I forget, it was Lombardi. Yeah, he would always tease tell us kids, about going to the track. Chuchavaza track, Chuchavaza track. In Italian, my mother would,
Translate it.
translate it, and it meant, well, the way he said it, it was Italian in his dialect. In ours too, I guess.
What does it mean?
About the
And
same.
it meant, when she translated it, why it meant, chuchavaz, donkey don't kiss the tracks.
Oh,
Chuchavaz, vaz,
Donkey don't
kiss.
donkey
Yeah,
don't kiss the track.
Chuchavaz out there, you know, he'd say.
Well,
It's amazing how those old timers had these different sayings and they meant different things and
where you were
when
born,
you
you lived
translate
not
them,
too
you
far from it.
No, we lived right on, right, we lived right
Right on
across
the
from
track.
Lumber's.
So then you were
We
very
lived right
close.
across from
Builder's lumber.
Lumber's.
Builder's lumber.
Builder's lumber in
And he
Los
was-
Banas?
And Lombardi was on the corner.
Yeah, right down on the corner.
So it was very close to the track, yeah.
Yeah, and we're always right,
Well, the tracks over there.
across the tracks to go to the
Yeah.
fairgrounds, you
Yeah.
know. There by the lumber yard.
Okay, so where was their first home in Los Banas?
That was it. No, no.
First what?
The first home.
That's the first home.
See,
That's the first one.
Yeah, because, yeah, I guess I was born there, and then from there we went to,
On I Street.
we lived on, we lived there while Papa was working there at Birch's.
Well, yeah.
We lived there just while he was working, but our home was there. And then we moved to I Street,
I Street.
right across from.
I and Fourth.
Oh, that's where the theater. Well, I'm going to read now about, I'm going to take the time now to read this autobiography that Karen did of, my daughter Karen did of her grandmother Amelia.
You started rapping, was that all I did?
Well, we have to, we weren't on film earlier. Okay, and then as I'm reading, if you guys think of something, then you stop me and we'll talk about it. Okay, I was born Amelia Cozzi, later I told was Winifred as my confirmation name. She was born in December. I don't remember what was in the hospital or in our home, but Uncle Tony said everybody was born in the homes in your day. My mother never said and I never asked. I don't think I asked enough questions. I didn't even bother to ask my mother how her mother or father died or what they died of. And I never saw my grandparents. They were in Italy. My father and mother got married in Italy, and shortly afterwards my father came to the United States to look for a job. He started working as a handyman at Miller & Lux, the large ranch in Los Banas. While he was away, my mother had their first child, a girl who died shortly after birth of an unknown illness. My father never saw her. He sent for my mother after this, and she made the trip over by boat. I can remember her telling me that she was offered a banana by a man on the ship, but refused to eat it.
Well, in fact, I remember her telling us that she ate bananas, the time she left El Salad all the way over, of course, they got off.
Oh, really?
Bananas, because she couldn't
that's-
say, they couldn't ask, actually say, well, I want a sandwich and like that.
Uh-huh.
They didn't know how to speak that language.
Yeah.
So they ate bananas most of the time.
Isn't that something? Now on the ship, she didn't eat it. She was afraid. She didn't know what they were. When she got to Ellis Island, that's probably all she figured. Well, I see more of them. They must be all right. So she ate bananas.
See, she came with
Mrs. LaGruda.
Mr. Dooley.
Oh.
Yeah, both the same way. They bought 8 bananas most
I'll
of
be
them.
darned.
Then when they got to Boston, they were separated.
She and
Mama-
Mrs. LaGruda.
The Grudas went one way and Mama went another way, all by herself.
Oh dear.
See what they do, they put a
Names.
name on it, where the destination.
Oh,
They couldn't speak English.
gee. Boy,
Now, where'd they get off?
That took a lot of
San-
courage.
Boston, Boston, and when they got off here, I
No.
don't know, San Francisco maybe?
San Francisco, yeah, it's
Yes.
about the only place, unless they came professional. I don't know.
must have been San Francisco in those days.
Papa must have made them
The
there.
train comes with all the banners too.
Yeah, oh yeah, right, they might have,
They might have come, yeah. She
right,
came
they
over.
came all the way to Los Gatos, I know.
Never asked.
You know, them days you don't ask questions, you should, that's why I'm saying you should ask questions if you wanna know more about your parents and grandparents. But I never asked any question, never asked them
No, we
any
never did.
questions,
And they didn't
What
talk
my
much about
grandfather
it.
did, what kind of a life did he lead when he was little, what did they do for a living? Never asked.
Well, he was a teacher. Your grandfather was a teacher, your father
Mama's-
used to say,
On Papa's side.
Papa's, he was a teacher, and he didn't know how to read and write, and he blamed his father for it. He used to tell us all the time.
Yeah, right.
He blamed his father,
My mother blamed her
disliked
mother.
his father because he wouldn't let him learn how to read and write. He made go work.
Oh.
And his father was a teacher.
In other words, Grandpa's father was a teacher,
Yeah.
but he didn't teach
His
his own
Didn't teach
son
him- didn't teach
how to
him,
read or write.
Well, Mom was the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
right.
she couldn't read or write.
All they do
Right,
is
no.
go out and herd sheep or go
And they
out
made
and
him
work.
work physically.
Yeah.
And Mama's mother could afford to send her to
Yeah.
school too. And
Oh,
she-
really?
She knew how to read and write,
Yeah.
no, Italian, but she never said Mama to school.
Never sent her
Oh,
to
well,
school.
both of them, like my great-grandparents then, they both had education.
I guess
But they
so.
didn't,
yeah.
they
Well,
didn't
my
give it to
grandmother,
their
like they
children.
say, Mama's mother was a countess.
They didn't pass it on down.
I'll be darned, isn't that funny?
They just had to put them out to work. How many was in Mama's family?
Just
two.
her and Vito, that's all.
Her and
That's
Vito,
all.
that's all, yeah.
And the stepbrothers.
And then the step, many years later.
Well, yeah, yeah.
But now Grandma's mother, Rosa Cozzi's mother was a countess?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll be
That's what
darned.
Daddy's always told me.
Oh,
So they had a lot of money, they could have afforded to
Sure,
do this, but
that's
they,
why my mother would get mad when she'd get a letter from her
Yeah.
mother from Italy. Why her mother, she couldn't answer it because she had to
couldn't
find
read it.
somebody that
She
would
had
read
to
it for her.
Somebody to know how to read it.
Read it and write it for her, and she.
Take the law
Not so
Spanish.
that she hated to ask people, you know.
so she'd get
So
upset
she'd get mad,
because
she said
she
she
couldn't.
she could send me to school, we had the money and everything, but if I don't answer her letter, it's her fault. I
Well,
can't-
Millie tried, and your mother
Yeah,
tried to read
right,
it, and
I
I tell you,
tried.
but a lot of times
They'd miss it.
she'd take it to Miss LaGruda
Oh,
and have her read it, or somebody in Los Banos that knew how to
Or
read.
Gilbertine.
Or, yeah, Gilbertine, a lot of times, there, just cartoons.
read things.
Yeah.
Well, that's too bad, that, they didn't learn how to read or write, but
A lot of things.
a lot of them didn't in those
You
days.
got the same thing like Portuguese people. A lot
Yeah.
of people could,
Yeah.
didn't have a chance to read
Chance
and
to
write
do
in
it.
school. All they do had to work, see?
Um,
Some people were fortunate, were able to go to school.
Yeah. So, anyway, then after Grandma came over here, she came to San Francisco then. Finally, she was all by herself then, huh? So she came to San Francisco all alone. She'd lost Mrs. LaGruda by this time.
Yes, yeah, they were separated. One went one way and Mama.
But Mrs. LaGruda was coming to Los Banos
Yeah,
also.
and she had her daughter, and I don't know who else she had. She had a
Oh.
daughter with her that I know of. But I don't think she had any more children.
So then,
Mom didn't have anybody. Mom came by herself.
so then then after she came to San Francisco, then she got together then with Grandpa, and then they lived. Their first place was in Los Banos, their first home.
Yes.
So then she had a second child, and he was a little boy, Antone, and he died also, and he died of dysentery. And then in 1910, Frank was born.
Who would people know that?
Yeah, well, then at this time my father was working for a gardener for a fellow by the name of Mr. Birch. He furnished my parents with a home. I was 2 years old then. That was the first house I remember living in. That's my mother, well, I remember this home because of one time when my mother was getting me ready to take a bath. You want me to repeat that? I was a real lively girl. I liked to run around a lot. Anyway, while I was undressed and before my mother could catch me, I took off and ran outside the house naked. I ran right into a bee's nest. I got bit by so many bees. Anyway, that cured me from running around naked. I'll never forget that house.
She didn't want to. She She ran away because she didn't want to put the flower pants on.
Oh.
Made out of flour sacks.
Was that it?
You got kidding, that's what we used to make the
They
pants
used to
out of
make
flour
pants
sacks.
out of flour
Yes.
sacks,
Oh,
huh?
yes. My mother used to.
Those were the good old days,
Bleach
huh?
those old flour sacks, and she made slips, made my slips, and she made panties, bloomers, like, you know, elastic
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the boomers.
Alvita and Jerry came along at the more prosperous
Oh,
times.
sure, right.
Then they had J.C. Penney's.
Yeah, then they.
Monkey war.
Monkey war.
Jacques Beignet.
Yeah.
Not J.C. Bennett, Jacques Beignet.
Oh,
They had
dear.
the Fruit of the Loom, Marlene.
Okay. Then my father quit working for Mr. Birch and started raising vegetables on his own. He'd go door to door selling vegetables.
Carson.
Frank and I pushed a cart
You push the cart.
selling vegetables.
And what kind of vegetables did he have? Just all tomatoes and peppers?
Peppers.
Radish and celery, anything. Berries, strawberries, and blackberries.
Oh.
And we go door to door, and he used to ring the bell. But Frank had to push this two-wheel cart,
Uh-huh.
and I used to go with him. When I
Oh.
was 5 years old, 6 years old.
No kidding.
Heck yeah. Go door to door and sell it 5 cents a bunch. And then we get our neighbor across the street, Janelli, he had the theater, and we used to give him all the vegetables he wanted, and us kids,
So you could go to
we
the-
lived in the theater.
Oh, that was your entertainment.
Yeah, let me tell you this. When Tony come home in the afternoon after he'd been playing out in the yard, it's about dinner time.
The yard, he'd be
He'd
in the
come
road,
in.
streets.
In the
He'd come in
streets.
he'd come in the house, you know, and when he'd walk in the front door, Mama had a chair right there by the door. And he'd drop his little cap, you know, they wore caps, and he'd drop his little cap right there.
On the table,
He'd come
I
in.
just put it.
Did you put it on the table? I thought it was on the chair. But anyway, he dropped his cap right there. He'd come in, he'd
Then
clean
he-
it up, eat, and as soon as he was through eating, he grabbed his little cap and away he'd go to the theater.
Oh.
And Mr. Janelli would always let him in the
Well,
theater.
then because he got free vegetables. Well, how old were you then?
5, 6, 7 years old.
No
Well, she
kidding.
just let us all go in there.
We all
Yeah,
did it
yeah.
for
And so all
nothing.
the family got in for nothing.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Charlie Chaplin was
Yeah.
the only thing was on their
Yeah.
silent movies.
Uh-huh.
And we see him for 3, 4 months at a time.
Oh.
And we go in there, sit there all night.
I'll be darned.
Daytime and nighttime.
So whenever you weren't pushing that vegetable cart around, you were in the theater.
Although we couldn't read, the
The captions, you
But-
couldn't read it.
but
Yeah,
I re-
because
but-
it-
but
all
I remember
silent
most of us one
films,
time
all
went there,
silent.
Charlie Chaplin, I guess he was taking a bath or something in big old tubs. Come to shut off, couldn't shut the doggone thing off, so he jumps around all over, he jumps around, then he ran downstairs, here comes a big old pail of water down,
Oh, gee. You remember that part of the movie?
Remember that part of the old movies of Charlie
Gosh.
Chaplin?
I bet those movies would be worth a lot of
Them
money
days,
now.
you know, they showed the picture and then they'd show the
Yeah, caption.
Caption about, they explain it, huh?
about explaining what's all about.
Well, then when he didn't have any vegetables to sell, he'd work on different dairy farms. He did this
He
just
run-
to
no.
get some work to support the
Well,
family.
He run a poker table in town.
Oh, yeah, poker table?
The saloon, yeah, the poker
Oh.
table. We forgot that.
Oh, yeah, Mom forgot that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he had a table. And his dog, he had a mean dog.
Oh.
The dog sat there with him too, at his table.
Oh.
He used to do that. When he had the garden, that's all he was doing. That and the
And the poker.
poker.
Oh. Well, he probably made good money doing that.
His grandfather was a hell of a good poker player.
Oh, yeah.
Until before he died, every summer when the cantaloupe packers come to town, well, he'd go to town, and he'd come home just about every night,
With all their money.
a couple $100 or more.
No kidding.
Darn right. But he never lose over $30, $40.
Uh-huh.
Every
He'd
afternoon.
he'd
Every
win,
now
but
and then.
Go
He
every
went
I'll
to town.
be
Right?
He'd
I
come
think
back
I
with a
remember
quart of
that.
whiskey or this.
That was even in his later years then, too, huh?
He'd take a quart of
I
whiskey.
remember hearing that.
Chocolate
Till
bars.
he couldn't go no more with his cancer. He went.
Uh-huh.
He even went while he had the cancer
Oh,
stomach
yeah.
Oh, he did.
for a long time.
I went with him quite a few times. I'd sit
Oh,
back-
yeah,
back
you
and
sit
forth
and
all
wait?
afternoon, you know.
Nice
And
food
wait
all-
for him to play. And he'd always come out winners, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Usually.
He won a lot
I
of
never
money.
did ask him, but.
Get an ice cream cone, so he'd be a good boy.
But then, see,
If you were a good boy, you got an ice cream cone.
he wasn't really a handyman for Middle Lux. He was a milker.
He was a milker. Well, didn't he,
He was in charge of the dairies. At the canal farm. Then he went to San Rita Ranch,
well,
O'Banyas.
didn't he,
Where
Oh.
O'Banyas live now.
Oh.
They had a dairy there too.
Oh,
didn't he start
I
off the
didn't know
wood ranch?
that.
Well, I don't know. I know he started canal farm.
The Woods Ranch, when there's on Los Banos, Mom used to cook for the milkers.
Let's see, canal farm.
Canal farm.
See, they had a big dairy there.
At the canal farm?
Oh, yeah.
And
Well, that's
he was,
headquarters from Milk.
he was the boss
Oh.
of the dairies.
Yeah, we used to milk 30 cows by hand too, in one of those
He
ranches.
used,
I remember
Oh, yeah?
saying.
he used to milk them in the corral there, loose,
Mhm.
you know. A lot of cows are
Just
red,
running-
white
they
faced
ran
cows,
loose.
you know. And he tell the story, like these greenhorn Portuguese guys come from the Mirandas,
Uh-huh.
go way back now, they're gone. There's a few of those, and they come there, of course, the old country, you know, they milk 2 or 3 cows by hand, but there they had to milk 20 or 30 cows.
Mm, that was a lot
So-
more work.
My dad, tell the story, see, he's out there in the corral with these guys, he's helping this Portuguese guy milk cows. And pretty soon, the guy on the fence was old man Henry Miller. He called him over and says, Joe, come here. So he went over there and he says, what are you doing helping those guys? Well, he says, teach them how to milk the cows. He says, they don't know how. He says, let them go. No, he says, they're going to be good milkers, he says. You come back next time you come, and he says, you'll see. And so, you know,
So he taught him how.
the next trip he made back from San Francisco, he come out there and the guys are all milking, and he give Dad a raise.
No kidding, because he taught him how to milk.
That's right, he gave him a raise, because the guys were doing such a good job.
Yeah, because he
Well,
was,
when Dad died, I'll tell you what, most of them all, the old-time Portuguese in that town, every darn one of them were there at his funeral.
no
He
kidding.
had a big funeral.
I'll be
He
darned.
had cars from the church all the way to the cemetery.
I'll be darned.
He had a big, lot of
Because a
Portuguese
lot of
people.
those men
He could
didn't
talk
even-
Portuguese, people just talk Portuguese as good as Albert Kid fluently.
No kidding, I
Oh.
didn't know
You
that.
better believe it.
I'll be darned. Now, see,
He
I
was-
didn't
he
know
was
that.
well liked.
I'll be darned. Well, then whoever Miller, Henry Miller, he thought a lot of Grandpa men, didn't he?
Yeah, I'll never forget, because he told us, because right there, he says you get a raise.
Hmm.
He was getting $1 a day, I think he get $2.
I'll be darned. Well, that's really something. Well, let's see, where are we now? Okay, then, oh, we're gonna break for commercial.
The feds come in, and Solano across the street at the store, you know, Kabbalah, had the store, and the feds come in and made a raid, all the gamblers, all the bootleggers. And they caught him with opium, remember? Cracked him in the head.
Who? Joe Cavallo?
And-
Jesse
And we're all
Cozzi
standing in the
and
street.
his
You
father.
were,
That's
don't you remember that?
Oh, I
Okay.
remember, he would come out.
We're all standing in the street, and I'll never forget, my father come walking around the corner. And I didn't know this, but the day before, the feds picked him up and took him to Fresno.
Right, we went to Fresno.
On the top of that still, but they couldn't stick him, see, so he came back. When he came back, I'll never forget, I was standing right there, and George Partner, Mama, he says,
Partner's
what's
a
going
neighbor.
on? He said, she told him what happened, the the feds over there, and they hit him over the head, and he said, I'll go get my rifle and kill him.
Thank you.
And then the first thing he asked Mom, he says, did they go in the house? Because I never forget, because he has the little barrels up there in the attic.
Isn't that great?
You better believe I know. He's-
Tony was
he
investigating.
He said, hey, I knew what was going on in that house.
I heard.
He says, did they go in the house? First thing you want to know. He said, they go in the house, look around? Because I knew in the attic, because I knew, I seen when he put them barrels up there, the little bitty barrels like that.
5 gallons.
Yeah, them other guys were running. I'll never forget, there was a little chicken hole, you know, where they let the chickens go in the,
Yeah, right, so they can get in.
and I heard this noise in that damn building, you know. I